case they're recorded. All right. For those just joining, welcome, welcome. In the chat box, throw where you're from. We are kicking it off here. Hi, my name's Alana, and tonight our topic is all about defining your value and understanding and speaking the language of the market, right? How do we talk about the market? Through tonight, what we're going to walk through is I am going to talk a little bit about what to expect throughout Ignite in general. I'm going to be sharing some things that are not in the student manual. All of you should have received an email with the student manual. If not, I will be sharing it in the chat box in a few minutes. I'll also be, you will also get it in another email. You're going to get tons of emails, especially this first and second week. Okay, but every week you're going to get emails with, hey, can't wait to see you this week. Here are the topics. Here are the classes. You do not have to register again. It's the same Zoom link, so just save it. Save the Zoom link. Same time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you don't have to sign up again. You're all in. So you just pop on in. Cool. All right. All right, so I said there's 450 registered, and we're up to 151 right now. So let's see what the night ends. It's always fun who registered and who actually attends. Again, showing up for your business. That's what you're doing. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive into the actual material. By the way, midway through this, don't jump off at 7 o'clock. We're going all the way till 8. By the way, I'm in Maryland. I oversee the coaching and education for now 7. They just added a location, 7 locations throughout Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So if anybody on here ever has a friend, a family member, just comes across someone who's looking to buy or sell in Maryland, would love you to think of me. By the way, that's how you ask for a referral. You simply just ask. You just ask. Now, what's cool is all of you are sharing in the chat box where you're located and where you're from. And all of the other Ignite instructors throughout this 5-week journey are going to be asking you to do the same thing. Throughout the next 5 weeks, most likely somebody in this class is going to find a buyer. If you play all in the next 5 weeks, you will find business. If you fully engage, do the activities, you will find business in the next 5 weeks. If you're kind of like half engaged, half listening to me, half watching Netflix, cooking dinner, not doing the activities afterwards, you will not find business. I'm just going to say it that way. And somebody in here might actually find business, but for another state. So you can refer it and collect a referral fee. So you might, one of these Ignite sessions, say, oh my God, I need an agent in South Windsor, Connecticut. That just happened to pop up. And then, by the way, if I say your name wrong, I apologize. My name's Alana, and I get every variation of my name. And then all of a sudden, Pavi will be like, oh my God, I'm in Connecticut. And she'll jump on there and bam, connection, right? This is how agent-to-agent businesses and referrals work. Oh, I love seeing how everybody is in here. This is great. So tonight's topic is going to be, again, defining your value and talking about the market. Before we dive into defining your value, and there's going to be a little activity you all do. By the way, if you're on here, you can put your cameras on. Please do so. I love looking at faces. Just makes it more engaging, especially at night. I want to go into the 6 core competencies of a business. So you're starting out, whether you are brand new to real estate, or you're a few months in, a year in, or I see some names in here that I recognize who are 5, 6, 7 years into real estate. By the way, thank you so much for showing up. At any point in time in real estate, we have what's called levels we go through, barriers, right? What I mean by that is in the beginning, it's we don't know what we don't know. Then all of a sudden we start learning what we don't know, right? Then we gain knowledge. Then we grow a business. Real estate's a business. You're all business owners. Congratulations. Your brokerage, your office is your support umbrella. We're here to support you, guide you, train you, help you succeed, right? And at some point in time, you're going to hit this level where you're like, oh my God, I'm struggling, right? I need to go back to basics, which is what this is, right? You're going back to the foundation that you knew that works, right? And the 6 core competencies of that business is to lead generate, which simply means talk to people. That's all. When you hear the words lead generate, replace those words with talk to people, whether in person, over the phone, text to text, DMing people. There's so many different ways. As we go throughout this, I will be sharing a few best practices. And then one of the classes that's later this week, actually tomorrow night's class is all about generating business, generating leads. How do you find business, right? So if you're like, well, how do I find business? There'll be a class on that. So we lead generate to capture individuals to then convert them to appointments. You cannot make money and you cannot have closings and you cannot get signatures for contracts without an appointment. You need an appointment. So we set appointments, we present to the buyers and sellers, we get agreements signed, we show buyers and market to sellers. We write and negotiate contracts, we coordinate the sale of closing, and we manage money. This is the 6 core competencies of your business as an agent. Okay. Antonio, I see your hand up. I'm going to come to you in just a second. Mindset. I don't want to spend too much time on the slide because I want to dive into the meat of tonight. However, I didn't want to skip over the slide because real estate, especially for all of you who have never, anybody in here like myself who worked in or works in what I like to call corporate world. We clock in at 9, we leave at 5, we get a paycheck, we have a boss, the boss tells us what to do. If we don't do it, we get fired. Real estate is very different. It's your own business. So yes, you can have accountability partners. Yes, you can have coaches. You can have mentors, right? So I coach a number of agents. And at the same time, we wake up every morning as an agent making a choice on doing activities or not doing activities, doing the right activities or not doing the right activities. And all of that comes back to mindset, right? You're going to have moments where one of our agents in one of my market centers I'm with, she's been in the business over 3 years, very, very successful agent. And she had 4 buyers she was working with a few months ago. And something happened where all 4 of them were under contract and all 4 fell through. And it was nothing that she could have done different. They were just life scenarios. So she had 4 things about to go to closing under contract. They all fell through. Now, good news, they are going to buy again in the future, but she had a mindset moment. Her and I went to coffee and she had a mindset moment. Oh my God, should I even stay in real estate? I don't know. She's an amazing agent. She's an amazing person. So it was all about just these things are going to happen. When it does, we kind of have to take a minute and be like, okay, it happened, and then move on, right? 20% of your actions, we're going to talk a lot tonight about actions and what actions are we taking. So 20% of your actions or activities lead to 80% of your results. Okay, it's the 80-20 principle. 20% of what you do will lead to 80% of your success. I do have to work through these slides because they're required. Please make sure as you are making calls, reaching out to people, you follow the TCPA Act. If you don't know what that is, please see your local broker to find out more details. It is very, very serious. There are tens of thousands of fines that agents are getting all nationwide because of it. So if you're not sure what the TCP Act is, you can Google it, you can chat GPT it, and you can talk to your broker. But please make sure as you're making calls, you are following this. You will not be lead genning and making calls tonight. Let me rephrase that. You will be lead genning tonight, but you're not making calls. We're going to do a really fun activity together. It has nothing to do with your phone whatsoever. All the materials we're going to go through are examples. We are not going to be talking to commissions throughout any of Ignite for a few reasons. 1, every state has different laws, and 2, they're not set by law. They're fully negotiable. So if you have questions as you go through the Ignite sessions, all the 5 weeks of it, you will have questions regarding contracts, regarding commissions. Please see your local broker, leadership team, or if you have a coach, your coach, to get answers on that. All right. So we're going to start with your value proposition. We're going to go into what matters to buyers and sellers, defining your value proposition. Then we're going to switch gears and dive over to connecting and understanding the market. How do you build knowledge on the market, right? And I'm gonna give you a little tips and tricks as a coach that aren't in the slides that I share with agents that I work with. Just do it a little kind of a fun fashion. Real estate should be fun, right? Yes, you're going to have work. Yes, there's going to be times you're like, oh my God, I really don't want to do that again. Yes, there's going to be times you're frustrated. It's going to happen. But overall, this is your business. You can make it whatever you want to look like. So why not enjoy it and make it just exciting and fun, right? And instead, as I go through this, I'm going to someone had asked what page this is on in your student manual. I'm going to be completely honest. I actually have no idea. Thank you so much, Melissa 59. Unfortunately, the instructor slides do not coincide with the student manual. You think it would, it doesn't. Also, you're going to see in the student manual things about Command. If you're with Keller Williams, you have a platform called Command. It's your ecosystem, your technology for your business. We're not going to dive into Command on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because Thursday nights are dedicated to how do you grow your business leveraging technology. Now, if you're not with Keller Williams, still attend Thursday because everything they're going to talk about is leveraging technology in general, right? How do you leverage certain systems so these systems can do work for you while you sleep or while you're at another job? And yes, I will be sharing the student manual just in a little bit in the chat box again. If anybody has it handy and you want to throw it in the chat box before me, go right ahead. So what is a value proposition, right? Why is it important? So let me actually back up the screen. I'm going to stop the share for a second. It's going to be a live question, meaning raise your hand, come off mute, or throw it in the chat box. Why do you want a value proposition as an agent? Why would that even be important to you? By the way, all I see answers, I'm totally going to sit here and stare at the screen awkwardly.
So you can stand out as, as an agent.
So I love that. So you can stand out as an agent. Absolutely. Right.
You don't have a value. If you don't know what your value is, you cannot communicate your value to a client. The more you know what you do for them, the more they realize they can't do it for themselves. Especially in a market like, at least out here in New England, it's still a seller's market. You still have people who think they can do for sale by, oh, it'll be cake, it'll be easy. And then all the poo hits the fan. And then all of a sudden they need an agent. And yeah, how do you beat one of the other 50 vying for that open opportunity?
Absolutely. Most sellers are interviewing about 3 agents. That's pretty normal nationwide. We're seeing that all over the place, if not more, right? Most buyers, usually they don't interview multiple agents typically, especially if you really show your value up front and have that conversation with them. There's a whole class on that that you guys are going to have in Ignite. It's all about winning the buyer and qualifying them. And I see in the chat box, demonstrating your expertise sets you apart. We just mentioned that. I love that. Defines you as a person, as an agent, shows your worth, your depths of knowledge, sets you apart. I love this. Absolutely. You're all 100% correct. Here's the thing. You have an individual who is about to sign an agreement with you and choose you as their agent to represent them in the largest purchase or sale of their life. Okay, no pressure. Read your contracts, understand them, right? And they're about to pay you what is probably, depending on where you live, price points, commissions, all that's going to vary, thousands of dollars to do it. So what value are we bringing to the table and sharing with them? Now be very careful. I do want to set the tone here a little bit. When I talk about value, I'm talking about a quick little elevator pitch. This is not us selling ourselves. People do not actually care about us. Okay, I'm just going to say, am I allowed to, it's after 6 o'clock here in East Coast. Can I just speak real? Can I just is that cool? Like keep it real with everybody? Okay, cool. By the way, if somebody said no, I don't know what I would do. That'd be so funny. I'd be like, I have no idea. Okay, I'm just going to do it. So here's the thing. They don't care. They want to know that we care about them. So if we go on a soapbox all about us, oh my God, listen, Rosemary, I'm the best. You just want me. This is why, right? Because me. I don't even want to choose me based on that. Okay. But we do need to have something that we can state very quickly that sets us apart. Now, for newer agents on here, I get this all the time as a coach for new agents. For new agents on here, are like, well, I don't have a value prep because I just started like yesterday. Right? I see a name in here. I literally just got licensed today. Congratulations, by the way. Right? Yes, you do. And here's why. We all have a past. We all have a history. We all have something that are our strengths, who we are as people. Your value has nothing to do with I sold 100 homes. People don't care about that actually. Your value is you've always worked in customer service in these other industries and you pride yourself in the customer experience. Maybe you're like for me, I'm an over communicator. Okay, most people are an under communicator, I find these days. I take the extreme of communication. I will overly communicate. That's why you're going to get tons of emails from me throughout Ignite. I'm an over communicator, right? That is a value that most buyers and sellers want because they want to know things, right? They want to be up to date on what's happening in their process, right? So I'm going to share that, right? So let me share my screen back. So everybody on here has a value. It's a unique, memorable, persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you, right? Who are you as a person? Okay. Also, what will you do for the client, right? Now, again, we're not going to promise some things we can't deliver, never guarantee things, right? But what are we going to do for them? Are we going to keep them up? If they were selling their house, are we going to keep them updated on a regular basis through the communication means that they prefer? Are we going to not just put it on our multiple listing service or whatever platform you use, but we're going to prospect for buyers. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We are going to use social media, right? We're going to take extra steps, right? So what I'm going to have you all do right now is I'm going to have you take like 2 minutes. We're just going to take 2 minutes here. Let me put a little stopwatch on. And I want you to just take out a pen, paper, notepad, whatever you're taking notes on, phone, and just jot down what you want and things you're thinking of for your value proposition. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need sentences, just words. What are words you can put in your value proposition? And by the way, if you have questions on this, I'm right here. Please ask them. Just take 2 minutes, write down some words. What do you bring to the table? I'm going to talk as you write, just to share a few things. If you struggle with this, which most people do, by the way, I know I did my first 2 years, I think I revamped my value proposition like 100 times because I struggle with this. We are our own worst critics. And one of the greatest things you can do if you're struggling is call a friend of yours or a family member that you like. Let me preface that you like. And be like, hey, I'm working on my real estate value proposition. What would you say, or like, what do you think some of my strengths are? What do you like about me? Right? What are words you would say about me? Good words, not bad words. Okay. So take another like 30 seconds here. Just jot down some words. By the way, in about 20 seconds, I am going to ask for just one volunteer. Although if you want to share in the chat box, please do so. I'd love to see more because if you share, you're giving someone else ideas. So you're helping a fellow agent on here. But I'd love to hear from some people what you wrote down. By the way, it doesn't need to be full sentences or paragraphs or anything. It'd just be words. I love this. People are already sharing. This is great. Real estate is a large space. Think of me as a source of clarity based on your needs. Well, that's cool, right? So That's true, right? Real estate's a large space. Real estate's huge. It's overwhelming. It's scary, right? For buyers and sellers. It is scary, even if they bought before, right? It's knowledgeable, caring, committed, honest, reliable. We got, I love the word honest in here. I'm seeing it multiple times. Honest, good communicator, caring, friendly. You know, it's funny. I had an agent once say to me, well, doesn't everybody just assume you're honest? Or like, why would someone put that in there? No. Nowadays, no. Like people want to hear the word. They want to hear that you've high integrity. They want to hear that you're honest, right? That you're customer oriented. I see hardworking, dedicated, personable. So if you're on here and you're like, I don't know what I should say is my value proposition, look in the chat box, write down a bunch of words that resonate with you. I don't know if any of you are ChatGPT people. If you're not, you need to be. It is the day of AI. You ought to Ignite, especially when you have Matt Verdon as your instructor. We will be sharing ChatGPT in some of the classes. It's not in the manual, it's not in the guide, it's just extras we're doing because it's 2025 and we need to. You can literally go into ChatGPT, type something like, help me create a short, unique, memorable, persuasive statement for my value proposition as a real estate agent. And it will spit something out. And then if you don't like it, you can tell ChatGPT, I don't like that, change that because of this. And then it will change it again. And then chat can take your words and turn it into something for you. All right. So again, it's going to help your clients understand your value, your expertise. It protects your commission. Okay, I'm not going to get into details, but if any of you have been around for literally over a year now, because it was last July, there was a whole lawsuit that went out regarding value, commissions, etc. And real estate. If you're brand new to real estate, you don't know what you don't know, you don't need to worry about this. But all of us grew up in one way of real estate and had to change everything very quickly. So, oops. So again, why should people pay you? Right? And then again, it builds a strong, trusting relationship. So now we connect. Basically, we're going to connect to the value, right? How do we add to the value? What are things we can point out to people to add to? We're honest, we're trustworthy, we're communicators, etc. Right? So we're gonna charge up for your value proposition. We're gonna 10 times it. And just some examples here, right? So now, obviously, I'm part of Keller Williams, so I'm going to speak Keller Williams, but I know we have a lot of guests on here. Welcome. So you can use the name of your brokerage, right, when you do this. And we call it Market Center, not brokerage. But it's, hey, I have access to I wouldn't use the word collective, put this in your own words. I have access to the knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. Me personally, I'm probably going to narrow that down. If I'm talking to someone in our Baltimore, Maryland location, I'm going to say something like, I have access, like especially a seller, I have access to not only over 240 active agents in my personal office, but across all my offices, over 1,000 agents, and then over 20 some thousand agents locally that I'm going to market your listing to. See, I just tied in the value of using the numbers of Keller Williams and the numbers of their market center to what the client wants, which is I want people to see my house to net the most money, right? I'm not just transactional, right? I'm fiduciary. What that means is I'm a resource. I'm a resource to you. If you need a handyman, a window washer, financial advisor, landscaper, whatever it is, right? Think of me as your real estate resource, your real estate go-to person. It's not just I'm here to buy or sell a house. We are here for the long run, right? In every way. And then obviously sharing with people, I'm constantly staying up to date on what's happening in the market, and I will always keep you updated as my client on what's going on as well. right? So again, you're taking your words, tying in what you already have access to. Even if you're brand new, you have access to all of this to create that, again, unique, memorable value proposition. So before I move on to what matters to buyers and sellers, let me just pause for a quick second and ask any questions or thoughts regarding the value proposition. I will say this is a great activity to do, which I highly recommend. And usually when I recommend activities, there's probably about 20%, 80-20 principle. 20% of you will do it, 80% will not. I don't know which 20, but 20% of you will do it. I recommend within the next 24 hours. Okay, so between now and 6:30 tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time, just in case you're on Central. Write out your value proposition. Doesn't need to be perfect. You're going to change it so many times over the years, but get that down on paper and then read it out loud, right? Read it to a friend, read it to a family member, see how it sounds out loud. You'll tweak it a few times after you read it out loud, put it in your own words, make it your sound you, okay? Don't, ChatGPT might make it all professional. Tell it to make it sound like you, right? You want something that is very genuine. Just check here, any questions? Nope, we are good. We're gonna move on to what matters. Okay, for buyers, the goal is to find just the right home at the right price. Now, here's the thing. Almost always, I will never use the word always, there's no such thing as 100% of everything. Buyers typically find about 70% max of what they're actually looking for. Okay, so notice this doesn't say find the dream home. Notice it doesn't say find everything you want, because that's not possible. Okay, you'll be showing way too many homes and they're never going to choose one. So it's finding just the right home at the best price, meaning what do they want to pay for a monthly fee, right? Doesn't matter interest rate, what do they want to stay at monthly price? In the right time for them with the least number of problems, right? So as their real estate agent, we're there to guide them to do all these things. By the way, this is a great statement. You can kind of reword for yourself, put in your own lingo as part of that value proposition when talking to a buyer. For sellers, their goal is to net the most money, period, in the shortest amount of time. That's it. They want their home sold and to net the most money, to do whatever they want with that money, whether it's buy another home, buy a bigger home, move to another state, whatever the case is, right? I'm currently working with a buyer right now who lives in California and, well, sorry, seller. He lives in California, looking to buy a house out there, but he has 2 investment properties back here in Maryland. So he needs to sell these 2 properties to get that cash to be able to buy that house. Because he qualifies for a loan, but it's not enough to buy the whole house. So he needs the cash to offset it. So all he cares about is how much can you sell it for, and really fast, because the house I want's about to go and I need to put an offer in. That's it. So for a buyer, here's the thing, needs analysis. Now I like to call this the strategy session. So I reword that as strategy session. Strategy sessions were actually did a training earlier today, which actually I'll email everybody the recording. Let me write that down. I did a training today with a group of agents, and it was all about the strategy session. What does a buyer, by the way, sometimes you'll hear it as buyer consultation. What we found over time through surveys and blah, 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 is the word consultation is a very negative word for a lot of buyers out there, or just a lot of individuals, because they think consultation, they think doctor's office, they think like needles, and poking and prodding. Strategy session is very fun and inviting, right? Or at least that's what surveys say. So needs analysis, I call it strategy session. Pre-approval, neighborhood information we're providing them with. We're doing home searches, we're making offers, we're negotiating. These are all these are all value items that we are providing to that buyer. We're taking them from what are you looking for what's important to you, why is that important, and then tying it right to, let's go find these homes now. Let me negotiate. Let's put in offers. Let's negotiate. Well, let me negotiate. I'm your agent. You're not negotiating. And let's get you to the closing table so you can move into this property, right? Seller, very same thing. We're having that meeting with them to find out their needs analysis. Needs analysis simply means, why are they looking to sell? What are their needs? Where are they moving to? When do they need to be there? Do they have to sell in order to buy? Right? We're providing them with market data for a pricing strategy, right? What's the market say? How much is the home worth? We're guiding them with best practices on preparing the property, right? So if they are a very, very cluttered home, we are providing them some guidance on that, right? Marketing strategies. So how are we, not them, how are we marketing it to put it in front of more people, right? How are we going to receive the offers and share it with them? Negotiation, selling it, obviously getting to the closing table, right? So these are all of the different value propositions. This is why sellers are paying you thousands of dollars. This previous slide is why buyers are paying you thousands of dollars, or whatever the amount is, because you do all of these things, right? I think it was maybe it was Rosemary who mentioned for sale by owners, right? So for sale by owners, yes. So back in the day, 2015, when I started as an agent, I actually started in a kind of a unique way. I started as what's called an inside sales associate, which is an appointment setter for agents. I like to call it a lead gen machine. I was calling about 300 to 500 numbers a day, talking to probably about 30, 40 people a day out of that, getting hung up on probably a good 20 out of the 40 people I talked to hung up on me or cursed me out, taught me a new language, I like to say, to find those needles in the haystack of who is ready now or who is ready over the next 12 months, right? And the focus back then was expires and for sale by owners. Now it's a totally different ballgame today with TCPA and do not call and all of that. See your broker about that information. But yeah, calling for sale by owners, they absolutely were. I don't need an agent. I don't need an agent. Now here's a fun fact about for sale by owners. Over 80, the last stat I saw, which is on the National Association of Realtors website, the NAR website. Now this was a few months, so it probably changed by now, but it was 87% of for sale by owners eventually list with an agent. 87% list with an agent eventually. On average, for sale by owners actually net 7 to 9% more using an agent than not. Now, there's all these reasons behind that. But again, it's because we have this value that we're providing that they're not real estate agents. They don't know all of this. They don't know how to price it properly. They don't know how to market properly. They put a sign in the yard and their neighbors see it. Their neighbors already live there. They're not buying a house, right? So they don't know 9 out of 10 of these items. So again, that's where we come in and that's why we're worth it. So again, just what do buyers want, right? They want us to help them find the right home, not the perfect home. There's no such thing as perfect. Get that thought out of your head. The right home for them, right? They want us to help with the price negotiations. They want us to help
Quick
negotiate
question.
terms of sale. Yeah.
Are we going to get PDFs of this, or should I continue taking snapshots of a few slides?
Yeah, actually, I can show you in a little bit. I'll actually share a link in the chat box. Do not
There's
where
a
you can find it.
PDF. There's a PDF in the chat that I posted. You got to go back up.
Oh, thank you, Amy. So Amy shared in the chat, but also I will make sure in the emails I send out, there's actually a way in Command. Well, if you're with Keller Williams, there's a way in Command to get all of these slides and all the material for all of this, right? So you have copies, but I'll also email them out so all of you have it. Yes, thank you for asking. Now, I love this one because most agents will say, well, I'm brand new. Why are they going to choose me? I've never sold a home. Right? Show of hands right now. Who's been in the business less than 6 months? If your camera's off, you can put the little thumbs up thing. Okay. So raise your hand if in your start of the business, you had that thought ever like, well, I've never sold anything. Why would they choose me over this agent? Ever think that? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I thought that too. When I first started, I was like, why would they choose me? So let me show you this slide, and I'm going to tell you a little story. What do buyers want? How do they choose their agent? 44%. Oops, 20%. Agent is honest and trustworthy. One of the least numbers is agent's experience. So here's the real deal with this. Ready? Buyers and sellers choose agents based on, do they connect with you? Do they like you? Is there rapport there? Are you coming across genuine? Like you genuinely are asking them questions to show that you care and want to help? Right? Or are you coming across, I'm going to use the word salesy. Hey, okay, you want to buy a house? Great, let's go see a house. We're going to talk to a lender first, then we're going to go see these few houses. As opposed to, oh my God, James, you want to buy a house? That's awesome. What has you thinking about buying? Where are you moving to? That's exciting. How many bedrooms? Why is that important to you? Okay, any pets? Anybody moving with you? Right. So we show this genuine care by actually having a conversation. I know it's a foreign thing in 2025, conversations, because we're all like just on TikTok, right? Just scrolling and hearting things. But we're having this conversation to get to know them, and they will choose you. So true story, 2017, I'm coaching this agent, brand new in the business. And she decided she wanted to call for sale by owners. Her very first listing she got was about 4 weeks. Yeah, about 30 days into being a brand new agent, never bought or sold a house, doesn't know anything about real estate, and also works another job, by the way. And she landed this for sale by owner listing that was somewhere around $500,000. Awesome, right? The way she landed it was she just kept following up with the person every week, just checking in. How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Finally, the sale owner was like, okay, come on out. You stayed in touch with me the longest. Let me meet you. I need help. She just stayed in touch with them the longest. That's it. There was nothing else she did out of the box. Her very second listing was a $1.2 million listing, which, by the way, is rare in our area. $1.2 million listing. And she got that her third month in real estate. It was a for sale by owner. The seller was interviewing 2 other agents. The other 2 agents had been in the business, one over 22 years, the other over 15 years. One of them was rated the top agent in all of that area. Okay, so you have a brand new agent, few months in, not that much experience at all, going up against experience, right? And very, very highly rated. People know their names in that area. So first, she had to get her mindset right. She was like, this is my listing if I choose to accept it. This is my listing if I choose to accept it. Then she had to prepare. She didn't just go in and wing it, right? Well, okay, I went with her on the appointment. She had to prepare for that appointment. I didn't do it for her. I'm not her admin, right? So she prepped like crazy. She practiced like crazy. She showed up on time. She was prepared. So she landed the listing. It went live. About a week or so in, she decided to ask the seller, hey, I'm just curious. I know you were interviewing so-and-so and this person. What had you choose me over them? Just would love the feedback. What do you think this seller said? Simple phrase. What did the seller say? When she said, why did you choose me over these very experienced agents?
Persistency.
So in this instance, it was a one and done. She called them, she landed the appointment, and she landed it on the first go ahead.
She was prepared.
Persistence.
Prepared, persistent, I see in the chat box, I trusted you. So the seller said to this agent, I just liked you better. That's it. The seller simply said, I just liked you better. That's what people are looking for. They're not looking for this. Now, yes, we need to be professional. Even if when we're working with friends, family, anybody, be professional at all times. But they're not looking for a robot. They're looking for a connection. They're looking for a person, a human being. Okay, so there's no need to try to be perfect or fit yourself in this perfect picture, right? It's simply relate to people, get to know them, be yourself, be genuine. And when they like you, they'll hire you. That's it. Just, I liked you better. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you go through talking to buyers, talking to sellers. We can get in our own way in our mindset. So again, sellers, what do sellers want most? So sellers want, now it's interesting, this is kind of a very equal pie. Help price them competitively, sell it. So again, at the end of the day, sellers simply want, I'm going to summarize this slide by saying, can you sell it fast? And can you make me the most money I can make? That's it. They want to net the most money and sell it as quickly as possible. And have you keep them updated all along the way. That is all that sellers want. They do not care that you have this 20-point marketing plan. Yes, it is good to have your marketing plan with you at the presentation to show them like, hey, I'm going to market your home, but you don't need to sit there unless you really like PowerPoints. Some PowerPoint people love PowerPoints. Cool. I'm actually not a PowerPoint person. You see me kind of switch on and off of this. But it helps me stay on track a little bit. You're not going to sit there to have a conversation with the seller with like, look at all of these 20 slides of all these things I do. Instead, it's, I'm going to market your home. These are a few steps on how I'm going to do it. This is what the market's saying your home is worth. We don't price homes, the market does. Let's get you to California to start surfing because you're stuck in the winter locations, right? So we're helping people again because of their wants, their needs. Why are they moving to a place? Tie it into that, right? It's called their motivation. Again, same thing with sellers. They're choosing you because they like you. They trust you. You can build like and trust in minutes. You can also lose it in seconds. Okay, you can build it in minutes, you can lose it in seconds. Never promise something and then not deliver. They will remember. Okay. So step one for your value proposition, identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. So again, 20% of you that do this activity within the next 24 hours, I don't know who it's going to be. When you do this activity in the next 24 hours, sit down, identify, and just write down words. You can even talk to ChatGPT if you're an AI person. I recommend that. Just talking about your knowledge, your attitudes, your skills, your beliefs, what you bring to the table, right? You want something short, sweet, to the point, like an elevator pitch. Okay. Tie in the benefits of who you work with, right? I'm with Keller Williams. I'm with the world's largest real estate brokerage. We have sold and helped more buyers and sellers than any other brokerage out there, period, worldwide. Right? I have access to, in this Baltimore, Maryland, DC area, I have access to thousands of agents that I'm going to network with and share your home because they have buyers, right? So I'm tying in a value of what the company brings to the conversation. And then finally, type it up, read it again, read it out loud, read it to somebody. Make some changes, doesn't need to be perfect, and then just start using it. Just start using it. Again, you'll change it a million times. Just start using it. Okay, before we get to the next slide, I do have a question for all of you, and that is, and if we actually check this box here, just making sure there's no questions. Oh, hey, Seth, I didn't know you were on here. Sorry. One of the instructors you're all going to have over the next few weeks is Seth Mills. He's an amazing, amazing coach out of Texas. He is on here. I just saw him in the chat box. Thanks for showing up. Love that. All right. So I don't see any questions in there. Feel free, if you have questions, ask them. Actually, let me ask all of you. What questions do you have regarding value propositions, creating it, talking about it, or what concerns do you have? If you're thinking it, someone else on here is.
I
Wanna
think
go
for
to- Mhm.
being in a new city, like I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, but now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And everyone always tells me, like, just reach out to your sphere, reach out to your sphere. And I don't have a sphere where I am technically. Um, I just got, I think I had orientation with KW last month. So I've been I've been going out more and meeting new people, but just like trying to build relationships, but not just so I can get clients, you know?
Good.
So, well, first, I love that you're saying I'm going out, meeting new people, build relationships, because this business is about relationships. Every single person we come in contact with at some point in their life will have some sort of real estate need or know somebody that does. Everybody, every single, if you went anywhere today, a bank, a cupcake shop, a Target, and you saw a person or interacted with anybody, even if it was the salesperson, they probably have a real estate need or know somebody that has a real estate need at some point in their life. Our job is to make connections, capture people's information, put them in a system. Stay tuned for Thursday for technology. Put them in a system, meaning technology. Post-it notes and Excel spreadsheets is not a system because you can't automate it. And then let them know you're in real estate. Remind them you're in real estate. And the most important thing is always ask a question of them. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if you're like, well, most of my sphere is in a different state, don't discount all the other states and locations, right? Because number one, you never know someone in a different state who actually works with someone who might be relocating or moving to your state. It happens all the time, but you would never know if you don't ask, right? The other thing is referrals are fantastic, right? This agent in our California office literally called me yesterday with the buyer who's buying the house out there, who wants to sell who needs to sell his 2 investment properties out here. So he has 2 properties he's selling. She's getting 20, I'm using this example, just an example, you can do whatever you want. She's doing 25% on each. So I'm going to do this work. She's getting a paycheck, right? Probably a nice amount, right? So
I have 3 right now from 3 different states that all hit and close in the same 2 weeks, and I'm making like around 11 because I'm close to being capped. Probably around 11 total for just giving names.
love that. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, real estate is literally everywhere. It's just about connecting with people however we like to connect with them, right? One of the agents I just talked to the other day, I'm assuming he's on here, said that he talked to 4 people while playing volleyball. That's awesome, right? Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever hobbies or meetups or things that you go to, just simply talk to people. That's it, right? Okay. I see a bunch of questions in here I want to get to before we dive into what's on my screen here. Let me get back to where I was for the questions. Okay, so one of the questions in here, I'm new to the state, don't have many contacts. So number one, definitely reach out to, I mentioned all your other, wherever you have contacts, reach out to them and let them know you're in real estate. Okay, let them know. And what I like to say, again, I'm going to use an example, put this in your own words, make it you, right? So by nature, most of my friends and family know me as like a sarcastic kind of person and kind of a jokester. So, like when I call, for example, my brother, so I'm in Maryland, my brother's in California. So when I call my brother, Might be something like, or I might text my brother and just be like, hey, because he never answers the phone. So it might be something like, hey, just a reminder, you know, I'm in real estate right now. Again, I'm sarcastic, so bear with me right now. He'll be like, yeah, whatever. Hey, anybody you come across, I have amazing partnerships. I use the word partnerships. I have amazing partnerships all throughout California with Keller Williams. That's true. I have amazing partnerships all throughout California. Please, 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 not all agents are created equal. Any friends, any family, anybody you come across who needs somebody, let me know so I can help them, or I can connect them with somebody that's good that can help them. Right. So it's just telling them how we can help them. Right. It's just, I have great partners all over. I have great partners in New York. I have great partners here. And by the way, you don't have to know, like this woman in California didn't know, she had no connections in Maryland. She told the buyer this, let me connect you with an amazing agent in Maryland. She then she went into command, looked up Maryland, found the Baltimore location, came across my number, voila. Right. So she simply said, I'll connect you with someone. And then less than 24 hours, she connected. So you don't have to know everybody. You just need to set the tone and then find somebody. And if you're new to a state, find things to do that you enjoy, right? Whether it is building social media things, there's a great class coming up on social media. I believe it's this week, might be next week, I forget. And how to just build through social media, or just join things that you have a passion for, right? What are things you enjoy doing? Get out there and find other people. There's one of the agents in our area, one of the top agents in our area. She built her entire business because she didn't have connections in the area when she first started in real estate. So she has a passion for dogs, loves dogs. So she decided to just start volunteering at all these dog events, anything dog related. She would go, and she went, she was like, where can I find things to help out and do things with dogs? And she went on Amazon and bought all this real estate stuff. She had like fun hats, fun shirts, right? So she had a little real estate badge on at all times, food shopping, volunteering, doesn't matter. And she would just go and do something that she had a passion with, which was dogs, which means she's around like-minded, similar people. So there's already a rapport there. And when you typically meet somebody for the first time, what's a question they ask you?
What do you do?
There you go. They set it up. Now, here's the thing. If you have another job, do not mention your other job. I don't care what it is. Don't mention it. Because if they hear another job, they will not tune into the words real estate. It's like a psychology thing in the brain. So just say, oh, I'm in real estate. I'm local. I'm in real estate. They'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing. They usually say something like, how's the market? Right. Right. And then what you're trying to do there, you're not selling them. Are you looking to buy or looking to sell? Just, hey, if you need anything in real estate, let me text you my information. If you need anything, landscaper, I don't know, window washer, cleaning person. I'd love to be a resource. I'm local. Here, let me text you my information. What's your number? Now I just captured their name and number in my phone, which goes into my system. So it's a very organic way of just connecting with people. Oh, when can you say real estate agent versus realtor? That depends on the state you're in. So please see your broker for that answer. Because every state's a little bit different. So I can only speak to Maryland, DC, and Virginia. All right, let me see if I have any other questions here before I share the screen and then move into an activity we're going to do. Oh, I love this. Finding the joys in life while meeting potential clients. That's it, right? There's an agent in Georgia who was in the business for a few years, but really getting burnout and not loving it anymore. And she was talking to her coach, and her coach was like, well, what did you used to love doing that maybe you stopped doing? And she's like, well, I used to play tennis all the time. And the coach is like, okay, well, how can you play tennis and meet new people? She goes, well, there's a tennis club nearby. So if I go there, maybe two, 3 times a week, I'll play with different partners depending on who's available. So long story short, she ended up playing tennis multiple times a week, obviously with different people, because if you play with the same person, that's kind of defeats the purpose of this whole thing. So every time she played, it was with different people. And again, you're talking to people, you're playing with people, you're automatically going to say, what do you do? Do you live around here? What do you do? It's a natural conversation. Real estate will come up naturally if you allow it to. Right? Don't be afraid of it. Just allow it to happen. Don't be a secret agent. No 007s. Right? And from that, she ended up not only loving what she did, but her business, like 80% of it just started coming from playing tennis. Now, funny story is her husband didn't know she was doing this and was like, oh my God, really? You're playing tennis all the time and not working? So if you live with someone, tell them why you're doing this, because there was a little fun that happened there. I see someone on here saying I'm an introvert. There is an amazing Facebook group. A friend of mine, Ashley Harward, runs it, and it is called Real Estate for Introverts. It is fantastic. Actually, I'll share that in the upcoming email going out. Introvert Facebook group. Yeah, great group. She's an introvert. She's also an amazing agent out in Boston. So she started up this group to not only help herself kind of overcome some things, but help others and how to be really successful in real estate as an introvert. So yes, shy, reserved, again, tap into things that you're comfortable with, right? Okay. So what is the success system? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to do an activity, and then we're going to move on to talking about the market and becoming market experts. And keep those questions going. I will jump back to the chat box and go through them because I want all of you to leave here with answers to most of your questions. So if I didn't get to your question, feel free to repost it so I can see it in the long threads that are coming. So the data success system is, are we having conversations? Are we adding contacts to our database? Are we, yes, writing notes? I'm going to talk about that, right? Are we engaging on social media? I'm going to actually show that slide in a little bit, right? And are we improving ourselves? Right? So I'm going to share some national numbers with you that I think are helpful. And that is, okay, few numbers. Now, these numbers that have been proven time and time again nationwide based on these researchers of real estate. And every year they research numbers, and every year here's the result. Okay, so I'm not just pulling these numbers out of thin air. One of the numbers is whatever number you have in your phone. So everybody has a phone, and everybody scrolls down, and you have some sort of number in there of contacts. Okay, how many contacts do you have? On average, keywords on average, when connecting with them properly and asking and letting them know you're in real estate, on average, you have 6%. You can capture business from 6% of your phone year over year. So for example, if you have 400 people on your phone, you have 24 closings, approximately, right? Again, approximately. Our phones, our database, the people we are, by the way, our sphere is like our, our friends, our family, people on Facebook, people on social media, people we worked with, people that our significant other work with, right? Anybody who knows us, likes us, my mechanic. I'm going to the eye doctor tomorrow. The eye doctor is someone who knows me, right? I only see them once every few years, but guess what? They know me. I'm in their system, right? So 6% of whatever number you're on your phone is what you have in business for the next 12 months. 6%. That's a large number, right? Most agents are not familiar with how to capture that. That's what Ignite's really going to teach you how to like dive into different things like open houses, social media, your phone, your database, your sphere, right? So the whole thing here with the daily success system is 10 conversations with your sphere, meaning people you know and who know you. By the way, that's per day. Okay. Because another number out there that is research shown is on average, if you have 50 conversations in a week, that's 10 a day, 5 days a week, you'll find one appointment who's ready now. One person who's ready now. Now meaning July, August, September. So anything in 3 months is now. 3 to 5 of those 50 people are ready in the next 4 to 12 months. So those are your nurtures. Those are your future follow-up. That's your future business. Anybody in here want business in December? January next year? Anybody? No? Just me?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I was like, do I just want the business? Okay. So when you are saying, when an agent says things like, oh, this isn't working, I'm not landing any appointments. As a coach, my very first question I ask them is, okay, how many people did you connect with last week? Whether phone, text, DMing, voice to voice, face to face, how many did you connect with? And if they're like, well, I connected with 6 in the entire week. It's not closing tactics or conversation. It's you haven't talked to enough people because it's a numbers game. It's a relationship game, but it's a numbers game. So again, 10 conversations per day, 5 days a week. So 50 in a week. If you go to a family event on a weekend, we had an agent who went to a wedding. They talked to 50 people in one day. Fantastic. There you go. The other 10 is 10 contacts added to your database. We constantly have to be feeding our database, right? Next one is 10 handwritten notes. Now, a lot of people kind of, when I say this to agents nowadays, I've been a coach since 2017. When I say this to agents nowadays in 2025, I get a lot of eye rolling happening. Like, really? Like a note? Like, what's a note? And I said this to someone the other day who just got into real estate, and they were like a letter? Like a card? Like, what do you mean? A handwritten note is simply, it could be a thank you card. It can be a birthday card. It can be like you go on Amazon, buy one of those big packets of thank you cards or blank cards. Blank cards are great because you can write whatever you want. It is a lost art. It is a lost art, right? So let's say that Gabrielle on here, you go and, all of a sudden you get a birthday card in the mail from another agent. Amongst all your bills that we get, you get a birthday card, an actual card, not one of those e-cards, not text messages, happy, an actual card. How do you feel?
Wow.
You feel great, right? You feel good, right? Let's say that I referred somebody to the agent in Boston. Not only did she send me a handwritten note card, but she sent me a box of brownies. Let me tell you this, I am literally looking for people to refer her to her now because I love brownies. Now, it doesn't mean I'm getting brownies every time. You can't say if this, then that. That's not allowed. That's not compliant. You will get in trouble. But I have a whole pile of note cards in my drawer that if all of a sudden Rosemary on here sends me a referral, she's probably going to get a thank you card handwritten from me. Sorry about my handwriting, is horrible. It doesn't matter. She's getting a handwritten note card. And honestly, I'm probably going to throw something in it, like a Starbucks card or something. Doesn't mean I have to. You don't have to put things in it. Just a handwritten note card is fine. But it's just setting you apart. Thank somebody in handwriting, right? Send them birthday cards, send them congratulation cards, anything that sets you apart and is like, wow, that was really nice. They're going to remember you more. And there's nothing wrong with throwing your business card in there. Okay. I'm going to get to the social media, but not now. I'm going to get to that a little later because we're going to do an activity around that. Okay. Let me stop this for a second. Activity time. You guys ready? I
Yes.
like these stairs on the screen. So we're going to do 2 activities. The very first activity is going to be a social media activity. The second one is going to be, by the way, and if you're not in social media, you can still participate in this activity. The second activity we're going to do is a lead gen activity, but don't worry, you're not making phone calls. I have to say that because a lot of times I say the word lead gen and phone calls, you're not making phone calls, and all of a sudden then, participants go from 200 down to like 50 because everybody's like, no, click, right? And they just jump off. Don't jump off. It'll be painless, I promise. So the social media activity is we are going to all take a picture of the screen. What's going to happen? Actually, I'm going to take a picture of the screen and I'm going to share it in the chat box. So anybody on here is able to put your camera on, please put it on. And what we're going to do is I just want everybody to smile, put thumbs up, like do some sort of motion, whatever, like look excited, whatever. You know, you're learning, you're growing. And I'm going to take this picture of the screen. I'm going to share in the chat box so all of you have the picture of everybody smiling. And then if you're good with social media, what you're going to do is take a minute and post it to social media right now. If you're like, oh, I need time to think about it, I need time to edit it, adjust it, that's fine. Post it tonight. All right. By the way, if you tag me in it, and I'm going to share my handle with all of you. So true story about this. Really quick before we do the picture of all of us smiling. Prior to real estate and even getting into real estate, I'm not a social media person. I never was. I can teach it, I train it, I know it, I'm on it. But I'm also that person that if all of a sudden something happened in the world and all social media shut down, I'd throw a party. I would legit throw a party. I would celebrate. And we're in real estate and the world lives in social media, so we need to live in social media. Unless you're at a job, it doesn't allow it and you'll get fired. Don't do that. Be safe in your job. So to learn all of this, I have a daughter. She's 27. She lives in Japan and she works, she teaches English. So my daughter, prior to living in Japan, worked at the office with me. And she got me on Instagram. She taught me how to do stories, taught me things like handle, words. So yes, I'm aging myself right now. Because yeah, I had to go to my daughter and be like, teach me these things. And still to this day, now she wants me on TikTok, by the way. It's a work in progress. We'll get there. We'll get there. One thing at a time, one thing at a time. So if you're like, oh, social media, I understand. I'm right there with you. And we're just going to embrace it together. All right. So get your cameras on, throw some fun smiles out there, some hands up, some thumbs up, whatever you want to do. I'm going to take the picture. So everybody go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a few shots of a few different screens. So I'm going to actually, unfortunately, have to ask you to hold all of that for a little bit. Okay, so everybody hold that for a little bit. Okay, ready, smile, everybody. Smile at the screen. All right, keep smiling because I'm going through a few screens here. Hold on. We got a few shots, more smiles, keep going. Yay! Oh my God, there's a cat in the picture. I love it. I love it. Okay, hold on, there's a few more coming because we have like a few screens. Okay, and we're gonna do one more. If I didn't get you in your slide, I apologize. All right. So now I'm going to go to the chat box. I'm going to share all the different ones I took. I'm going to find all the different ones I took. Okay, there's a boatload of pictures that are going in the chat box right now. All right. Thank you so much. So take like a minute right now if you're super fast with social media, myself. So for myself, I'm actually going to post it tonight because I do like to edit things. I'm going to put some music behind it, etc., etc. You should be able to, if you hover over it, there's a little arrow that allows you to download it, I think. If somebody tries that and it works, tell me. Because on my end, I have access to everything. I just need to make sure you're good to go. Okay, you should be able to download them. So go ahead and if you want to post it right now, post it. If you're posting on Instagram, you want to tag me. If you tag me, I will share a little Google folder I have of helpful goodies for new agents. Well, for agents, I'm not gonna say new, for agents. So it's my little incentive for tagging me. I also love people tagging me because then I can just click add to story. So it makes it a lot easier for myself, but I am going to post as well. Awesome. By the way, that's an easy way to anytime you're like, what should I post? What should I do? Don't overthink it. If you're attending a class, take a picture of the class, right? If you're driving out a neighborhood and you like a picture of a house, take a picture of the house, right? Just randomly find stuff, right? I saw someone on here with a cat. Love that. Take a picture of your cat. Post your cat. People do business with those they relate to that they like. I have 2 cats, so I'd look at that and be like, oh my God, I like you. I would like you just because you have a cat. By the way, I love dogs equally. Okay, just so you all know. All right. Second activity. You guys ready? This is the lead gen one. What we're going to do is this one's going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to think about the time in just a minute. I have to think about my timing for tonight. What this activity is you're going to either text or DM. I don't care which platform you use. You can text people or DM people. And what you're going to do is you're going to text and DM people a purposeful statement. And here's what I mean by that. Now, I'm going to give you an example and make it your own words. Okay, so obviously I'm going to give you my words, turn it into you. So if let's say I am DMing people on, yes, I'm going to say Facebook, because that's my platform I started with. So I'm going to DM people and it might say something like, hey, Tony, reaching out to my Facebook fam. Just seeing if there's any real estate goals that you have that I can help with over the next year. No, I'm probably going to add things like, how have you been? Right? Or like, it's been a while. Right? Depending on who it is. I'm typically like a how have you been person. So I'm usually like, hey, Tony, how have you been? Just reaching out to Facebook fam. Seeing if there's anything real estate related I can help you with. Or if you know anyone over the next few years I can help with. So it's just simply any real estate needs or real estate goals I can help with over the next year. Now, if you're sitting here on here and all of a sudden you're kind of tensing up, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for this activity. I'm going to challenge you to send that to one person. It can even be your best friend. You can even preface it with, I'm in a class and my teacher is making me do this. You can blame me. I'm cool with that. Okay. You can also send messages that are more connecting with them to start. So let's say you reach out to someone and you're like, hey, Holly, oh my God, it's been forever. I was just thinking about you. How have you been? Notice I'm not saying anything about real estate. I'm just simply connecting. Now, what's going to happen is Holly's going to eventually message back. Now, if they message back right now, yes, you're in a class. When we're done this activity, don't sit there messaging them. You can wait, talk to them afterwards. Okay, if all of a sudden we had someone who like all of a sudden people start calling them, don't answer your phone, don't message back after this activity. So your message might just be simply reconnecting with someone. Because eventually the conversation is probably going to lead to, what have you been up to? It might not be today. It might be in 2 days. That's fine. Right. So you're either going to send a, hey, how have you been? I've been thinking about you. What have you been up to? Or that's called a reconnection. Right. Or you're going to send the purposeful one. Hey, reaching out, just seeing what real estate goals you have over the next year, or if you know any, or who you know that I can help. Okay, so this activity is going to be a challenge. The challenge is going to be, how many can you send? Don't bother replying yet. How many can you send out in, we're going to do this for 6 minutes. Nope, I lied. We're going to do it for 8 minutes. Let me set this for 8 minutes. How many can you send in 8 minutes? Now, share best practice. A lot of people do copy, paste, copy, paste. Just remember, if you do that, to change the name. If not, everybody's going to be named Tony. Okay, so copy, paste, change the name. Don't overthink this at all. You cannot get this wrong in any way. There's nothing you can do bad here. There's nothing bad that's going to happen. I promise. Worked with over 1,000 agents. I got you. It's going to be okay. How many can you send? Now, there was one person who literally in this time sent 32 because she did a video message and blasted it to a whole group she had. All right, questions before we get started? Any questions before I click the timer?
What if we don't see ourselves? What if we don't see ourselves in any of the pictures?
If you don't see yourself, okay, at the end here, I'll take a few pictures, make sure you're in that, okay? Or you can just take a picture of the screen like right now or something. It's okay if you're not in the,
Okay.
I'm not in half of the pictures. It's more about posting than the picture. Any questions on the 8-minute activity that we are about to do? Text or DM, no phone calls. How many can you send? Timer has started. And I'm here for any questions you have. I'm going to put a little music on, but I hope it connects to my computer. So somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear music.
It's the fear that take me, make it okay. I swear I'll behave. You wanna control, so when I put on a show. Now and then you say I'm a kid, my ego is there.
For those just joining, sorry, a few people are just joining right now and coming in. We're doing an activity where we are texting or DMing people. How many can we send? And we're simply saying, hey, so-and-so, how have you been? I'm reaching out to see if there's any real estate needs that you have over this next year that I can help you with, or if you know anyone. Or you can text them, say, if it's someone you haven't talked to in a while, hey, I'm just reaching out, just thinking about you. How have you been? It's been forever. Right, so you're either texting to reconnect with people, or you're texting with a real estate purpose. If you are not licensed yet, but about to be licensed, just simply text and DM people to connect with them. Just, hey, how have you been? Because you're not allowed to talk real estate right now. But you can text and be like, hey, how have you been? In the business or relationship. Don't overthink this. Text DM.
I can't stop thinking, my mind is always spinning. With so many questions, I lose my sense of direction. My thoughts keep me far away. I get stuck in. What it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit kid. First shot, construct walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of conscious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby.
Keep sending those messages. See, some of you overthinking, stop doing it. I will tell you the last go round of this in April and May, when we had agents send this message, every time agents did this activity throughout all 5 weeks of Ignite for just a few minutes each night, more than half of them landed a buyer or seller in the 5 weeks. They found somebody who had a real estate need they could help. And don't be afraid of that yes, because you have a full, there's always people you can reach out to and ask them questions and get the help with, wherever you are. And if you don't have that and you're not sure who you reach out to, I'm gonna put all my information in here and I can connect you to someone.
I got a reply as well.
Awesome. Remember, don't worry about the replies right now. You want to send as many as you can out. So you can, yep, look at replies a little bit later. But I'm going to ask if somebody gets a reply. Like we did have an instance where someone got a reply that somebody's like, oh my God, yes, I'm looking to buy a house. This is the best reply you can get. Two minutes. Minute and a half. If you miss what we're doing right now, I'll summarize it at the very end of this, so you can do this activity after this class or tomorrow, depending on what time it is where you live. 1 minute. All right, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Get those last ones out and come on back. Look at the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. So in the chat box, what I'm going to do is have y'all put in the chat box about how many did you just send? What number did you get sent out? By the way, any number is a good number, right? So throw those in the chat box. What did you send out? I see 10, 9, 7, 8. I feel like we're going down 4, 18, 16, 5, 12. Wow, I love this. 16, 9. By the way, if you sent this as a post on social media, I love that. And I'm going to show the difference between posting and DMing in just a minute. Okay. 23. I think that might be the winner here. I think 23 might be the winner out of this number. Anybody more? 35. Sorry, 23. You got knocked out of the park with 35. That person was definitely copy and pasting or sending to, like, they have mass groups in their phone, which is awesome. All right. So let me ask all this question. Let me ask, first of all, everybody take your right hand. Take your right hand. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Everybody hold your right hand. Do one of these. Everybody do one of these. Okay. You're patting yourself on the back. You just did the hardest thing in real estate, which is lead generation. You did the one activity that's the only activity that sets you apart and up for success. It is the only activity that leads to the goals you want. That's it. Lead generation. How do we feel about that? Was that difficult? What are our thoughts? Oh, I love that, Tony. I did 30-second clip is sent to every one of my DMs. That's amazing, right? Think outside the box. That's amazing, right? How was that activity for all of you? Scary, not scary, liked it, didn't like it, easy, not easy. Less overthinking and more doing. Love that. Great, good push. Here's the thing. A lot of times, especially if we have other jobs, we get in our own way. We get stuck in our own head. Again, mindset, everything's mindset, right? It's only as difficult as you make it, AKA it is simple. I love that statement. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So we are the ones that say, well, I didn't talk to enough people today, or I didn't lead gen at all today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then when we get into that habit, it's I'll do it tomorrow. It's just like going to the gym. If we haven't gone to the gym for years and we're like, I'm going to go to the gym. Well, okay, maybe tomorrow. Well, okay, today got really busy at work, so I really couldn't. Okay, maybe tomorrow. So we turn into maybe tomorrow people. Unfortunately, in real estate, everything we do today shows up in 90 days. So everything we don't do adds time to that 90 days. And the only one activity that differentiates, again, an agent hitting their goals versus not hitting their goals, getting clients versus not getting clients, is talking to people. And if you end your day and you're like, oh God, I didn't talk to anyone today. I was just busy at work. I was busy doing this. Can you put a timer on your phone for, let's say, 15 minutes while dinner's cooking or while you're watching a movie in the background? And can you do that activity for 15 minutes to end your day with something? Right? Imagine doing that every day, 15 minutes. Right? That's all it takes. Now, yes, do we need to respond? Do we need to do this? Absolutely. All right. By the way, if any of you get responses back, whether now or tomorrow or whatever, as you do these activities with, oh my God, I found a buyer, I found a seller, please, we want to celebrate you. Okay. I'm the one emailing you literally every few days, all the Ignite materials, the recordings, all that stuff. That's me. That's all coming to me. So when you reply to it, it comes to me. So let me know. Please respond, reply to me and be like, oh my God, it worked. I got this buyer, I got the seller. We want to celebrate those successes, right? Yes, Cynthia, time blocking is a must in this industry. 100% yes. If you don't have a calendar, get one by tomorrow. When I say get one, it can be a Google Calendar, a paper calendar, a pretty leather-bound calendar. I don't care what calendar. You can print out a calendar from, doesn't matter. You have to use a calendar to be successful in real estate. Take it from someone who was anti-calendar her entire life, like so anti-calendar that I had a corporate job that was so calendar-based, I quit it based on the calendar. Like they wanted me to use a calendar and I literally quit a job because they want me to use a calendar. Like a good paying job, quit it. So, I mean, there was other factors. Real estate was one industry I really learned that you have to have a calendar. You have to have a calendar. You have to use it. You have to put in there, when are you doing lead generation? What are you doing? Are you connecting with 10 people between 4 and 6 o'clock? Right? Are you attending a training? Are you practicing a contract? Are you showing homes? What's in your calendar that's real estate related? All right. We're going to take a little shift now. I'm going to ask for all of your assistance, and then we're going to dive into knowing the market. That's how we're going to close out tonight, is all about how do you know the market? How do you become confident in the market? Before we do that, I want to share a little personal thing. So I mentioned I'm a KWU trainer, which anybody on here who has a passion for training, I threw my contact information in the chat box. Also, you can just reply to any email you ever get from me regarding Ignite. I love helping people go on this path and journey to become a nationwide Keller Williams certified trainer. It's an amazing path to keep the certification, right? So it was a goal of mine to keep the certification and obtain the next level, which is master faculty, which out of 181,000 people, Keller Williams nationwide, worldwide, there's less than 200 master faculty. So that is one of my personal goals, but I need all of your help. I need a certain number of surveys. So I'm going to share a quick survey with you, and I'm going to share in the chat box the link. So if you go to kwueval.com, and I just put it in the chat box as well, By the way, you can do it on your phone, and this will take all of like a minute. The screen that you're looking at shows up. You're going to pick your region, so wherever you're located. Okay, so like I'm in Maryland, DC. This is virtual. The course name is Ignite, and it is number 4, define your value. Instructor, my name starts with an I. So right after H, right before J. And be honest with your feedback. I love the feedback. I don't see any names, right? So, you know, if you love me, give me a 5. If you're like, I don't really like you, give me a 4. Just kidding. Then there's literally one more question. That's it. It is that short and sweet, but this really will not only help me as an instructor, because I do look at the feedback to say like, what can I improve on? Or, oh, maybe I didn't do something right. I'm always looking to improve, but also helps with my goal, right? Just like I just had you do that activity, seeing what goals people have for real estate, same type of thing. All right. I'm going to give it like another second here, and then I'm going to switch gears and we're going to talk all about the market to finish out the night. You go to kwueval.com. So if you're on your phone or on a computer, you can just pull up a link and type in that website. KWU stands for Keller Williams University. Eval.com. This screen will come up. And then there's literally just 6 things on here.
7 out of 5, Ilana.
You say 7 out of 5?
Yeah.
I wish there was a 7. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Big smile on my face. All right. Let's dive into the next topic. It's all about knowing and connecting with the market. All right. So when we think about knowing the market, in the chat box or come off of mute, why is it important as agents to know the market? Why do we want to know the market?
You want to be an economist of choice.
Love that. Economist of choice. Great verbiage there. Absolutely.
Yep.
Why else?
It's
See in the
like a
chat box
patient.
here.
It's like a patient going to a doctor, and if the doctor doesn't know about body, what will he or she do, right?
Yeah, if you go to, if you need a surgery done, a knee surgery done, right? I'm assuming that you want to go to a doctor that knows how to do knee surgeries and is up to date on the most today's age, I don't know what terminology is, today's age things in the medical field, not like from, the 1600s or something like that, right? You want to know what's really funny is my husband's in the medical field and he's literally in the background, like, making comments. So knowing the market, what that means is you want to know the market both on a bigger scale and a smaller scale. And I'm going to give you some tips in just a minute that are not in the slides on different ways to learn the market, just that I've experienced and just coach agents on. But knowing it is knowing where you live, or it doesn't have to be where you live, where you want to focus your business, right? Which is typically where we live, right? Do you know your area? If you're new to the area, get to know your area, drive around, look it up in your multiple listing service, right? You need to, what about neighborhoods? Do you know the different neighborhoods? Do you know what's, hot spots in neighborhoods? Are certain neighborhoods better for walking to restaurants? Now, if you be very careful, I'm going to say something. Not every state adheres to this. So I'm going to say, please check with your broker on this. You're not knowing the market based on good school ratings, because we are not allowed to say to people, oh my God, you want a good school? Here's one, it's rated 9. Almost every state has that law. Check with your broker to see if your state has that law. I know Maryland does. I know DC does. I know Virginia does. I know Texas does because I coach people out there. Instead, send them to a website called greatschools.org. Have them do the research. Okay. But again, knowing the neighborhoods, knowing the locations, knowing the city, knowing driving distances, right? Now, granted, we have Google, we can look stuff up. So how do we do this? How do we know the market in a fast amount of time, right? The very first thing is knowing the types of real estate markets, right? Is it a buyer's market, meaning there's more than 7 months of inventory? Is it balanced? Is it a seller's market, right? Sometimes you can tell it's kind of a seller's market, not always, but quickly, because you can actually go to your multiple listing service and you can look up there and be like, okay, how long are these houses staying on the market? And if houses are going in seconds, minutes, in 2020 and 2021, I don't know if anybody in here has ever was in real estate back then, but 2020 and 2021 were historical moments in real estate history, especially 2020, not because of COVID and all that. It was historical because what was predicted to turn into a down market actually turned into a hottest ever seller's market. Homes were selling in minutes with multiple offers. I had a friend I coached in Texas, literally had 42 offers on one home in one day. It was insane, right? But these are things we need to know, right? Today's market is absolutely completely different than 2020, right? Now, every area of the nation varies. What we find here usually on the East Coast in Maryland, DC, Virginia, and surrounding locations, Pennsylvania, kind of in our, Rhode Island. I see a bunch of us here. What tends to happen on the West Coast will happen to us market-wise a few months later. So it's really fun to have agents as friends on the West Coast to find out, hey, what's happening in your market? Because then you can kind of predict what's coming our way. Every so often, nationwide is the same. Typically, West Coast has things happen before East Coast, right? So if it's not a buyer's market, West Coast will have a buyer's market, then we'll have it, right? So it kind of trickles over to us, right? Knowing the inventory, what's on the market, right? If you go to your multiple listing service and you just simply click on your zip code or type in your city, right? Or I don't know if you have counties, we have counties where we live, but type in where you live, type in the area, not the whole state, pick an area, and how many homes are on the market? What's active? How many, just click on them, right? Do some research, spend some time there, right? Click on some of the homes and figure out, like, take some time and actually click through some of those houses and look at them and say, how long have they been on the market? If you see something that recently closed, click on it and say, and look to see how many days was it on the market before it closed, right? What are typical prices in your area, right? Again, going right into, looking at right up online, what are homes in your area? If you're driving around and you see a for sale sign, great practice as an agent, anytime you see a for sale sign, as you drive anywhere in your area, right? Area means anywhere you want to do real estate, okay, in your state. As you're driving around, you see a sale sign, look it up. What's it on the market for? Right? You can even take one step further, write down the address, plug it in to see when it sells. What's it on the market for? Then what does it sell for? Right? Track the home, right? The more you do that on a regular basis, the faster you're going to know the market and the more confident you're going to be when you're talking to different buyers and sellers. Because a lot of the, sometimes they do ask questions like, what's the market like? Connect with your lenders. If you do not have, I'm going to use the number 3 just because I like the number. It could be a few more if you want it, but 3 is kind of a nice number. If you don't have 3 lenders that you are in a relationship with that are partners of yours, right? Because they have a business, you have a business that you like and trust. Find those lenders, go to agents in your office, see who they're using that they like. Go out to coffee with a lender, get to know them. Your lender is part of the real estate experience that you give to your clients. And when you're sitting down with the lender, just simply ask them questions. Hey, now you're not becoming the lender. Okay, so just because the lender tells you rates today, in a month from now, don't tell the buyer those same rates. They might have changed. That's the lender's job. Okay. But we do need to know, are rates up, are rates down? What's happening with the rates? What are different packages that these lenders offer? What are different options? Economic factors, that plays a huge role, right? What's happening? Now, these are things you can research, right? The National Association of Realtor website has some great articles. Another website I love to follow is called Keeping Current Matters. Yeah, I'll put that in the chat box. Again, Keeping Current Matters. Now, when you sign up for that website, sign up for free. They're going to start upselling you and trying to get you to pay. Just say no, you do not need to pay anything. They will continually try to sell you on stuff. Just say no, it's a shiny object. They have so many great articles, blogs, things that are nationwide. And then you can narrow it down locally just through Google and ChatGPT, right? What's happening with the employment rates, the unemployment rates, right? Are businesses opening? Are they closing? Are things growing or not growing? Are there new builds or not new builds? Are things expanding, not expanding? Right? And then again, just the neighborhoods, right? What are the different areas? Are there shops, restaurants, health facilities, attractions? When you talk to buyers, these are important to them, right? They're going to be like, hey, I really want to move to a location where, like here in Baltimore, I might work with a buyer who lives in Baltimore County. And it's like, yeah, I really want to move into the city to just be able to walk to restaurants and have a nightlife. Okay. So it's not just knowing the city, but then knowing the neighborhoods, restaurants, but then, okay, there are certain parts of the city you're not going to move to because they don't have that. There's certain parts that do have that, right? So start small, just do your local area first, right? Local area meaning your zip code, where you live, or if you live in an area but want to focus your attention somewhere else because of price points. So for example, I work out of our Baltimore office, but I live in a different county that's about 45 minutes away with better price points. So when I was an agent, I didn't focus so much on homes. I do now, but I didn't focus so much on homes where my office was. I focused 45 minutes away where I like the prices better. Because I was like, well, if I'm going to work, I'd rather make more money, right? Have clients, I'd rather work smarter than harder. I didn't say no to the other people. I just focus somewhere else, right? What you focus on expands. So again, build your expertise. Again, learn the market, learn your clientele, learn individuals, right? Language, LORE stands for language of real estate. Some locations, so you can ask your local leadership at your office, your brokerage where you are, if they have any language of real estate reports you can use. There are some locations that do have these that you can use in your presentations. It's literally numbers they share with you that you can share to clients. Right. So for example, our office just posted one and it said, our agents sold more homes in the month of June than in our Baltimore City, Baltimore County area. We're up 11% over agents on the multiple listing service. Right. So if I'm talking to a client, I'm going to say, hey, we sell more homes. We sell more homes, right? And then just know your business, get to know your business, right? Learning your clientele, who are your buyers, who are your sellers, who are you working with, what's the population? Screen on my end just shut off. Just give me 1 second here. When we talk about learning your clientele, it's also knowing, are they coming or going? So for example, again, I'm in that Baltimore, DC, Virginia area. So there's a huge, huge government population. And not getting into politics stuff, that's not allowed to talk there. But there's a lot of individuals who worked in that field or work in that field that have been very worrisome about their jobs. I'm just going to say it that way. Right. So knowing what's happening and knowing the clientele in the area allows me to have, ensure that I'm going in with a empathetic mindset mindset that somebody who might own a house may need to sell it because they might not be able to afford it anymore. Right? Or somebody that is currently renting might not be able to buy just yet, even though they wanted to, because they just lost their job or they're about to, right? Or they're at risk to, right? So it's just understanding the area, the clientele, who's around. And just listening to individuals, right? Go to where people talk, right? Where do people talk about, the market, right? Talk to fellow agents, right? Where's your sphere getting their information from? Talk to your friends and family. Hey, when you want to know about houses or the market or what's happening out there with different things, where do you typically go? By the way, they're probably going to Google or TikTok these days, which is scary. That's scary, right? Because they'll watch a video and be like, oh my God, that's truth. No, it's not. It's just TikTok, right? So just be aware of like, where are people getting their information from? And it's probably wrong, which is why they need us. Again, the cool thing about social media these days is if we're following it, it's giving us the headlines. We just need to dig a little deeper to see if it's true or not. Okay. Again, tonight's not Technology Thursday is, but I did want to say if you're with Keller Williams and you do not have the KW apps on your phone, so if you go to the App Store and do Keller Williams, there's 2 apps that come up. Please make sure you put these apps on your phone. If you get stuck with this, see a local tech person at your Mark Center to get help with it. But this also keeps you up to date. You can literally have houses at your fingertips to know the market right there at your fingertips. So standing there with a buyer in a house and they're asking you what's around that area, you can literally click on the app, say current location, and it will say exactly what's around that area, price points and everything. So you can be an expert on the market with a click of the app on your phone in seconds. Now, I'm going back a step. Okay. So we talked about knowing the market, but I'm going back a step to talk a little bit about social media. Or maybe I'm jumping ahead a step. We'll go with either one of those. Part of that daily success system is, again, being part of the social media world out there. I don't care what platform you're part of. It doesn't matter. Just choose one. If you're part of all of them, fantastic. And in the social media world, and this also connects with, knowing the market, knowing your clientele, is connecting with them on social media. And by connecting, simply posting something once a week, you're not connecting. We have to DM, we have to comment, we have to direct, we need to be consistent or build a habit of consistency. So the goal is to build a habit of consistency to get up to where you're liking 10 posts a day. We're scrolling down, we click heart and like, right? You're commenting on 5 posts a day. So sit there. So tonight, for example, you can jump on your favorite social media platform, find things to like, find 5 things to comment on, send 1 direct message. Okay, so in a 7-day week, well, let's go with a 5-day week. In a 5-day week, you've sent 5 direct messages. You've commented on 25 things. What that does is that not only shows a presence, but it changes your algorithm. So now you're going to show up more in their feeds, right? So you'll show up again towards the top, right? So the more you do this, the more you're going to show up. The more you DM people, the more you show up for them. And you want to stay top of mind. And the fastest way to stay top of mind without calling and texting people all the time is social media. Okay, so that was that 10-5-1 daily social media engagement. Okay. So we want to study reports. We want to preview homes. So I said I was going to share some tips. I'm going to end this with the final tips and then open up for a few Q&A. Final tips is this, and it is the fastest way to know the market, besides everything I just told you, is get out to homes. On the weekend, go see some open houses. just go check out open houses. If you haven't previewed a home or shown a home, go schedule a showing for yourself and go see the home. Take a friend, right? The fastest way to know the market is go to see homes, right? When I coach individuals, I start them out saying, you're going to preview 2 homes this week. Then I move it up to, you're going to preview 4 homes next week. People are like, 4 homes is a lot. Not really. Because if you think about it, one night after, whatever you're doing, like 5 o'clock, 5:30 at night, schedule a show and go see a home. Saturday, go to 2 open houses, to one, to the other. There's 3 right there, right? And pick another day and see another home. There's 4. It is the fastest way to know the market. Just check out homes. What's the price? What does it list for? When was it listed? Right. So not just going to the open house, but what is it listed for? How long has it been in the market? Right. Really get to know it. Right. What does it look like? It's also just really fun, especially when you bring friends with you or family with you. Just check out homes. Right. And then if you don't have the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, we call it the Red Book here at Keller Williams. It's a how-to guide. It literally is written as a how-to guide. The whole first section is all about how do you find business? How do you lead generate? And finally, your big life, right? Why are you in this? Why real estate, right? Really understand why are you doing this? That's going to drive you and push you and help you to create a visual around that. And how much do you want to make? And then why do you want to make it? Why is that number important to you? Right? As a coach, I typically get the traditional, I want to make $100,000, right? The other day, someone's like, I want to make 250. I'm like, cool, right? Every number is your number. And you'll learn throughout Ignite how to break that number backwards and how to achieve that in a very simplified, very clear way, right? We're going to provide clarity throughout Ignite. But know your number, set a goal. All right. Whew, we went through value proposition. Your assignment that 20% of you are going to do, but I don't know which 20%, is to type out your value proposition. We went through an activity where you spent 6 minutes DMing or texting people. If you didn't get to the activity, what we did is we put a timer on for 6 minutes. I recommend if you're at home, do it for 15 minutes. And literally, how many people can you text or DM in that time frame? How many can you get out there, right? Either to reconnect with people, rebuild a relationship, check in. Hey, Seth, how have you been? What's going on? Love the background, right? Just check in with them. Relationship, connection. Or it's more real estate purposeful. Hey, Seth, I'm just reaching out. Do you have any real estate goals over this next year or know anyone I could help? Love to be a resource. That's it. That's it right there. Just real estate goals over the next year. By the way, don't use the word now, because if they have a goal in December, they won't tell you. It's a psychology thing, right? So, and then we dove into the market, right? This week, take an hour this week and just simply play online, look at homes, drive around, look at homes, look up the prices if they're on sale. Get to know the market, right? Just get to know your local area really well. All right. Final piece, what questions do you have? I'll spend about a minute or 2 answering some questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for popping in tonight. Really appreciate tomorrow night is all about generating business through finding leads. Okay, so if you don't know how to find business, tomorrow night's your night. Now stick around if anybody has any questions. Oh, I love this. How can I do open houses? So if you're looking for, there's actually a great resource in Command. Actually, I'll send it out to all of you. It's called an open house playbook. By the way, when I say I'm sending things to you, you're not getting until the end of the week because I bring everything together from each of the 3 classes to send to you. But if you're like, how do you do them, meaning find them? Just talk to some agents, the top producing agents in your office. I'm sure somebody is happy to have you do your open house for them. At a certain level, people stop doing open houses and they have other people do them for them. And to repeat, somebody asked me to repeat this. Hey, just reaching out to see if you have any real estate goals over this next year. or know anyone that I could help with. Just want to be a resource. All right. Again, take that, make it your own. I always say put it, take anything you learn from any of these instructors, make it your own. Put your own voice around it, right? Always stay true to who you are. For those struggling with dual career on the balance, it is a struggle. I went through it. I started that way. It is hard. I'm not going to discount the fact it's hard. Your calendar and time blocking will be your best friend. I will tell you this, my first year coaching, 2017, I worked with 2 agents. They started the exact same time. One started full-time, one started working, and he worked 60 hours at a company, had a 1-year-old at home and a baby on the way. So he maybe had about 15, 20 hours to put in real estate versus the full-time person. Full-time person had 1 closing in his first year. He made just enough to pay his dues. The person who had 15, 20 hours made $122,000 in 10 months. There was only one thing that set them apart. They don't want to take a guess? There's literally only one thing. One thing. They're both super smart. They're both super successful. They're both great guys.
Consistency.
Yes, in what? Oh, I do like time blocking. Yes, he did. Yeah, that 15 hours, he did have to, like, on his calendar, it said exactly what he was doing to a T. Like, he could hand his calendar to a stranger and they would know.
I would say lead generation and or care calls and or sphere of influence and or just being all the networking that comes with
Yeah.
lead gen.
Yes, yes. The one who had 15, 20 hours talked to more people. The other one didn't. That was it. That was literally the only thing that set them apart. If you talk to enough people, you ask enough questions, you will find business. The other one spent hours and hours making a flyer that went nowhere. And he spent hours on a website that nobody looks at. Our business is connecting with people, however you like to do it. But that's it. That's literally the secret of success in real estate. Seth, would you agree with that? Thumbs up. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing night. Stay tuned for some emails coming out this week. If you have anything or you need anything, please reach out. Happy to help you. And definitely tune in tomorrow night. Bye, everyone.
I have one more question. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
is it best
For another
to
question.
out to, sorry, is it best to reach out to you email or like can we DM you on Instagram? Or
Yeah, I'm good with anything. Yep. My Instagram, I'll put it in the
Okay.
chat box once again. My Instagram handle. I'll put my email in here.
Was the link
I'll
put
put
in
my-
there for the workbook?
What was that?
The work is in an email that they sent a couple days ago.
Yeah, I will resend that email. So I can make sure you get that. I'll make sure to
Yes,
resend that.
please, because I registered a little bit late and I haven't received it yet. I assume there's a little bit of lag for later registrations.
Oh, not a problem. Yeah, another email is going to come out. So, actually, I think it's coming out. Oh no, it's tomorrow morning. I was looking at the time. You'll get by tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Thank
I was late attending this session and very new to Keller, only just a matter of a couple of days.
Welcome.
Will this be a record? I think this was recorded. Is there any way I can maybe take a look at this tomorrow?
So yes, so all recordings, so everything will be recorded. We edit them and put them on YouTube on a playlist by the end of the week. If you send me, I typically don't send out like just the Zoom recording because we like to kind of cut out things and edit things and all that. But if you want to watch it by tomorrow, I'm happy to send the unedited version to you. I just need you to email me. And I'm going to put my email in the chat box so you have it again. Send me an email so I have your email. And in the email, say recording unedited. So then
Thank you.
when I see it, I'll know it. Yep. Everybody else you'll get on YouTube, but it won't be till the end of the week because they have to edit them. Yep. Okay, awesome. Everybody, thank you all so much. Congratulations on starting on the Ignite journey. Again, to graduate Ignite, get your certificate, we highly recommend missing no more than 2 classes if you're able to. I know it's summertime, I get it, but if you're able to. All right, everybody, have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.